Hi, it's Lynn from LynnieCDesigns. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in West Sussex in the UK. And I'm coming on to recreate or share a card that I made at one of our card classes. Now this is a very basic version of it. We created a slightly stepped up version in class, which I'll show you. And today I'm going to recreate it with using all the dies. So I used Cake Celebration. So this is a new to me stamp set, but it's been available on our online store for a while. And it comes as a bundle. So you've got this fabulous stamp set, and the die set has 14 dies. And I've kind of done a little bit of a sample here for you so that you can see. So the stamps, you've got dies, the flowers and the leaves. You can stamp and then die cut them out. The candles, they combine and you got a little die to cut those out. There's a cute little banner, and then there are dies to create the cake just from die cuts, or you can stamp them. Now the cake stand, there is a die for it, but you can just cut it yourself. There's a little extra piece that you could have just as a standalone, or layer that on top so that it layers up to add an extra bit onto your cake stand. And then you've got 2 layers of cake, which is what I'm going to do today. Some frosting to go over each of the layers, and then some extra bits of icing or layers, or you could use this however you wish. There's 3 that go with that layer and 2 that go with that size. So you can layer them up as you like. I'll show you what I mean later. Now I am using some retired dies, radiating stitches. I just love them and love the detail that they give, so I'm using those, but you could obviously use anything that you've got in your stash. But they're really pretty sort of stitched detail, and I think that adds something to the card. So that's what I've done. So that's the very basic, just with stamping, and I created the stamps here. I did the cake layers, and then I used a detail stamp in the same colour to go over the top, but it's very, very subtle. The die was sort of suitable for an American size A2, so this is our standard card base, and I've made that celebrate happy birthday. This was the one that we did in class. Again, stamped the base in crumb cake. The cake is bubble bath, and then I used the Stampin' Right marker to do some little squiggly lines for icing, and then I have used Berry Burst to stamp the flowers, and Old Olive for the leaves, and then the Celebrate is stamped in and heat embossed in gold. The strip underneath the ribbon, now the ribbon is another retired ribbon from my stash, but come on, we buy these things. I'm trying to use up things in my stash that I love. So I've layered distressed gold specialty paper, which again is sadly retired, I didn't realise, but you can use any gold foil or create your own gold. I don't know whether I've ever demonstrated that, but you can create your own gold with embossing powder, but I will show you that. And this one I made an anniversary card, so that's that. And I'm going to make up a stepped up version. So we have, put the envelope aside, I have already cut the base. That is 4.1 by 21 and it's scored at 10.5 to create the card base. I've got, again in Bubble Bath, I've already die cut the panel that will go on there. We've got a strip of gold distressed paper. That is 2 centimeters by 12 centimeters, but I did it like that because I wanted to fold it over rather than just have a cut edge. And then I've die cut the white panel from Basic White, and then I've got some bits and pieces of scrap which I can do my stamping and die cutting from. And then this is the piece for the inside, and this measures 9.8 by 13.5 centimeters. I'm going to make this a wedding day, so I'm going to stamp the cake stand in Versamark, and then we can die cut that, and then I'm going to stamp the sentiment celebrate. I'm going to fussy cut that. Let's have a look. Where's my Versamark? There's my Versamark. I think heat embossing makes it makes a card really special. So I'm going to stamp that down there. And where is the celebrate? There's the celebrate. Put that lid back on. I'll get my gold. Let's get some more. It's getting very low. Not going to worry too much about that little smudge there because we're going to die cut that out. I'll get a brush in a minute. Need a better scoop than that, don't I, really? Excuse me while I heat emboss. There is something so magical about watching that melt. Love it. So I'm going to get Berry Burst and Old Olive, and I am going to I was going to show you how to make your own gold card, wasn't I? I'll do that after if I can remember. And then I noticed that my my pad is very juicy, so I'm just going to take my bone folder and very gently push the ink to one side. I'm not taking it off, I'm just pushing it to one side, and I'm hoping, clean that off, I'm hoping that the flowers won't be quite so heavy as they were before. That's a little bit better. stamp cleaner. I've got my Simply Chamois, and when I'm using one of the pinks, I try and clean off my stamps quick as soon as I can to avoid staining, but it hasn't really worked on these. A tip that I must try and remember actually is if you're using when you're using photopolymer stamps for the first time, to use Versamark first, and it does actually stop them, especially with the reds, the pinks and the reds, from taking the colour of the pink. And I thought that was a very good tip. I'm going to do 2 of those little ones in case we need them. I think that's all for now. I am going to need to use some stamp the inside, but we'll get to that. Now, to create your own bits of gold embossing or gold paper, if you haven't got any foil, is just to use your Versamark directly onto paper or card in this case, and then liberally sprinkle on the gold. Heat emboss, and then use that as to die cut. So let's see, I've got my little cut and emboss machine. Let's just, what did I do with my stamped bit? Here it is. So the other thing I'm going to do on this is to die cut, use these pieces. They will die cut some bits and bobs for me. Now, I'm going to do actually, I'm going to crop that out. Did I crop that too far away? Nope. That'll work. Now with all the little bits like this, it's probably going to be easier to tape these down. Whether I'm going to risk it. Shall we be brave? As always, on camera, and more fingers and thumbs. I may have stamped these too close to each other. Yep. Just speed that bit up. slices may have oh, look at that, very good. That's not bad. A little bit skew. Pretty dark flower. Nice cake stand. And we've got 2 of those. We've got 2 of those, which is fine. Let's try and get that back. We will cut another cake stand out of this and then decide which one we prefer. Works better if you've got it the right way around. Very fiddly. I did actually think you could, when I did my samples, I actually die cut the pieces and then stamped the flowers and the leaves on top, and that worked quite well. No. Right. Let's take 2. Gonna have to moved. Very silly. Never mind. Now, which do you prefer? I like both of them. I'm going to use that, but you could quite easily use that. I think if I was using that one, I might add the extra bit of detail over the top just to give it another little layer. Very easy to create that for yourself. So let's try and put this together, shall we? Just use my pokey tool. Got all 3 of those. That one didn't cut very well, so we won't use that one. Oh, the other bit I was going to do is this little doobie. So we'll grab another scrap-a-doodle and run that through quickly. What have I done with the plates? There they are. It's slightly better if you stagger them. That's why it kind of got stuck. Little bit of frosting there. So just tape this down. I usually work just with the glass mat when it's me, but when I'm filming, as you can see, that there's a bit of glare with my lighting, so I taped it down. And let's put those, I always put a bit of magnetic sheet on so that it keeps all the bits and bobs, so I don't get lost. So roughly in the middle. Use your good grid paper just to make sure it is straightish. A little bit of tear and tape in the middle, which helps with secure the ribbon, if I can find the ribbon. There we are, it's hiding. And you just want a bit what's that? My ribbon is 15, just over 15 centimeters. Nice little combination, pink combination there. Fold it over. Fold it over, and I use another little bit of tear and tape to secure that in place, but it will also help glue that panel onto your card when you're at that stage. We'll just do that. Lovely. Now pop that to one side. Now just quickly cut this out. And see, I'm trying to move the paper rather than cut the scissors, rather than move the scissors. Just helps me anyway. I actually quite like the way that looks. Pop that up there. So that's ready to stick on, or with dimensionals. Now I went ahead and die cut that from, that's my cake. So let's have a look. I want the cake there, there, okay, I'm going to grab silicone mat, so I don't get glue all over this. And I have already actually, we can decide what we want to do. I've used my Stampin' Up marker, my Bubble Bath Stampin' Up marker, and I've coloured in these pieces. And I'm going to have a look because I haven't quite decided if I want the frosting in white or in pink. So let's have a look. I think I'm going to do the pink. But I've used the Bubble Bath just to dark, it's the same colour, but it just obviously darkens it slightly. And then I've used Wink of Stella, so you might not be able to see it, but it is shining quite nicely. So I'm going to pop those there. And let's glue these puppies on. It hangs over very slightly. And we do want it sort of slightly over the top, just slightly over the top. You can see a little bit of glue there. That's absolutely fine. Let's do that one as well. Let's get that excess off. Just see, I want the icing to be slightly higher than the, doesn't really matter as it's all the same colour, but slightly higher than the cake so you can't see it. Lovely. And then we need to decide how many of these we're going to have. We're going to have lots of them. I do think we only need 2 of these. Yeah. Two and two. New glue. It does hang over just a little bit. If that bothers you, you could trim them off once they've stuck. Just give them a little bit of time. try and have them straight. Bit close together, those two. And then I'm going to pop those up with dimensionals. If I can find them. There we are, they're hiding. Mini dimensionals. It is a horrible grey and wet day here today in the south of England. Right, let's just put this together. That's straight. It's all going to be popped up. That's straight, I think so. Pop that one up. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna trim that slightly. I'm just going to tuck that behind that one. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. And then this will go up on dimensionals as well. And we'll get the thread. And tie a little bow. I mean, it's a wedding card, so you're going to be handing it to the person, so I'm not worried about having plenty of dimension. If I was popping it in the post, they'd maybe, well, it's a wedding, so it needs to be special, doesn't it? I was very lucky this week. Well, I think lucky. I was asked to make some birthday cards by a neighbour for family. Well, there's me trying to get that straight. I don't think I did get it straight, did I? No. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Let's see if I can get. See if I can rescue this slightly. I don't know if I can. I'm not worrying if I tear that any. It's all going to be hidden. Can't have that crooked like that. have a look. Another bit of tear and tape. Right, let's just put a little bit of glue on the bottom of there. Nobody will know unless you tell them. Who would know? No one. Yep. Fabulous. So we will see. I think I'm going to, you guessed it, I'm going to stick that there so I can tuck that there and then add that with the dimensional. I'm just gonna quickly cut a little bit of that excess white off. There we go. And I'm using the adhesive backed metallic gems for the centers of the flower. So put a few of the tiny gold ones left. I'll use a bigger one for there. And that is very cute. Cake's a bit lopsided, but we'll try not to worry too much. I'm going to take that off and add a bit of glue. I'm just being mindful that the detail, to avoid the detail around the edge, because that would actually the glue would come through. So there we go. I love it. Now let's get the thread. Let's see, shall we see if we can tie a double bow? Not sure that we can. There we go. And I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to tuck that under there. There we go. One spare flower, and then for the inside, a bit of a smudge there. So celebrate. I'm going to put I am going to heat emboss again. My craft space is getting smaller and smaller. Does that happen to anybody else? Happy. I'm going to put the gold on it. And then stamp wedding day. That was lucky, it worked. I'm just going to come in with some bubble bath if I can find it. There we go. Now heat gun just warps it slightly, so I'm going to try and make sure my odd numbers. There we go. That can go on the inside. Plenty of glue. And what I will often do if I've got something that's just slightly out of skew, is I will use my largest block, or you could use some books, whatever you've got in to hand. Sorry, drinking my coffee. Oh, it's gone cold. That needs staying on there a little bit longer, but there we go. What do you think? I'm very happy with those. So that's the simple version. You can see I kept the card a standard UK base, and then I trimmed it down to better outline that die. That's what we did in class. And then this one is the super stepped up version. It's a bit still wonky. Oh, let it go, Lynn. Anyway, thank you for watching and bearing with me. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.